All right, guys, time for another barn update. Not sure which video this will be in. I've taken quite a few. I'll probably have to splice them into a couple different videos, but we have everything framed up. Talked about it in a couple of the earlier videos. Got the beams built, got the joist up on this first room, which will be the farm room, and this half of the second one, which will be basically the tool room, workshop area. Got all of our plug boxes in, got all that wired up, and just did a smoke test. Some electricians, you'll hear say that's when you turn all the breakers on and see if anything starts smoking, and nothing did. So effectively put on the electrician hat, got everything done, and then took that electrician hat right back off, because something that don't mess with a lot, but my grandfather was an electrician, and my dad has worked with electricians off and on when he was building houses, when he needed extra work and that type of thing. So didn't have to wire a panel box up, so we were able, you know, and there was plenty of breakers in there. So, but and what we did here, I got plenty of plugs on the inside of the rooms and out, just because I'm not sure what all is going to be in there. Just got these keyless lights up here temporary right now, but these will, I think, eventually put floodlights up here. And when you come in, there's a three-way switch here that you can turn them off or on, and then one down there. So if you were to come in, you first come in the door, you can turn those on, light this up, and if you were walking down to the workshop and you wanted to go in and then turn them off, you know, if it was at night, you can flip that switch and turn them off. There's another three-way switch here that's not hooked to anything right now, but eventually that will go to, once the wall's extended all the way down, there'll be at least two more of those lights with a three-way switch down at the end. In case you come in from that end of the barn, you'd be able to flip it on to light the middle here, and again walk down to the middle, the workshop, and either turn it off or back on, depending on which way you're coming from. And then this one again goes to these three. So this room is not, the tool room workshop is not wired all the way. Just the plugs on this side. These are not, and the lights on this side. There will be another row of lights once the ceiling's extended. They're not wired up yet. Do have, you can see random plugs up high, and the reason for that is the door, when you come in, will open back up this way. And so there's room here to build shelves that are a foot wide, and I put two plugs, one low and one high, that'll be within the shelves in case there's anything you wanted to set up there and plug in. Same thing on the other side of the wall. Eventually we'll build a set of shelves here, 5 foot wide, all the way to the ceiling, and there's one plug high and one plug low. There's one plug there that's on its own home run back to the box for a freezer to plug in. And then we got other random plugs. There are higher ones up here because there's going to be countertops here. The old ones that we took out of the house, the bathroom ones will actually be here. We're going to put them on a platform to raise them up to the same height as the kitchen set. And there's a sink in there. We got to run the plumbing, but then those will be basically where a backsplash would be above the cabinet. I've got one set of uppers that came out, so they'll be up there. As far as, well, I actually got two sets of uppers. I got one just straight cabinets that go over here. On this side, I have the set of cabinets from the kitchen that was the main set that had the stovetop in it, and then the uppers that went over that, and plus extended over the fridge. And we have an extra fridge that we're going to put in that corner for storing eggs and different things like that. And then again, the deep freeze will be out here as well. We do have a deep freeze and an extra fridge in the house, but this will be for farm stuff. Got temporary lights in here as well. There will be a ceiling fan plus two 4-foot shop lights. So there'll be plenty of lights, and I will probably also put, since we have extra plugs, I'll put some under counter lights that just plug in. We didn't wire for those to wire them directly, but I got plenty of plugs that I'll just be able to wire those in. And we ended up with an extra plug here because we actually planned on having a separate switch for the fan, but then we end up forgetting what we were doing and wired them all the same, and so we just threw an extra plug in there, and I'll just get the faceplate to cover it. So that's where we're at now. About to start putting the insulation. You can see I got all the ceiling insulation cut. We start putting the plywood on the ceiling. We'll just throw that in there and get in there as we go. I'm about to start cutting the wall insulation now. Get ready to put it in, and then we have to run our plumbing. You can see there's water that comes up right there. We'll shut the water off, cut that, convert it to CPVC, which will work better for the heat and all that. Run it down this wall to the sink that will be right in here. Run it on down, put a hydrant outside because there's not much water here. There's one out there that just comes out of the ground, but that's the only water except for the one we added down there when we ran that plummet on down the wall. There's one on the outside of the barn there. So we're going to put one here on this corner out. One, we're going to round the corner with the water, put one in the middle of the barn out, and then we'll probably just cap it off down there right now at the end of the wall, but eventually it'll run all the way down, and there'll be another hydrant on the outside there, so we'll have water all the way around the barn. And eventually we may run it on down and have one right this side of the door. So never can have too much enough water on the farm to get far as watering animals, plants, and that kind of thing. So that's where we're at. I'm going to shut this off, start cutting insulation. And the next video you'll probably see, I may take some on putting in insulation, but we'll get all that and then we'll start putting our plywood up and close this in. Catch y'all then.